and welcome back to HVAC Talk, Let's Be Real. My name's Renee, I'm one of the owners of LCS.
And my name's Dylan, I'm an installer and service tech at LCS.
Okay, so today we're going to talk to you a little bit about quotes for new equipment, new furnace, new air conditioner. This is a great time of year to think about replacing, and as you've got a couple quotes side by side, we want to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. This is really important. If you get quotes and one price is higher, one price is lower, you want to look to see if there's a difference in what's being offered or if there's just a price difference for another reason, right? So let's look here, Dylan. A lot of people start by looking at their quote and they look at the furnace, they look at the air conditioner, and then they drop all the way down here to see what the price is. Now, why did we leave such a big gap there?
Because there's a lot of different add-ons and additions you can put on your quote.
Okay, so we're going to go through and talk about some of those so you know what you're looking for when you're comparing. But let's actually start with the furnace and air conditioner itself. Now, say you have a quote, Dylan, two quotes, and they both say 95% efficient furnace. Is that necessarily the same furnace?
No, one could be single stage, the other one could be two stage, one could be variable speed.
Okay.
There's a lot of different options to the furnaces.
Okay, so those are some kind of technical terms right there that Dylan is using, but really your different stages of equipment is going to affect price. It's going to affect comfort, it's going to affect how loud the furnace is, right? So there's a lot of different variables in there. So make sure you really know the model of that furnace, whether it's 80%, 90%, it doesn't matter. They can come in different stages, so you want to know what you're getting. What about the AC? Is it same thing for the AC?
Yeah, same thing. You can get single stage, two stage, variable capacity. There's multiple options
for that as well. Okay, so what most people hear is the SEER rating. So they'll say, oh, it's a 14 SEER, 16 SEER, 20 SEER. That's really important because that does have to do with the efficiency, but there's also different stages, which again affects comfort, price, noise, efficiency, all of those things.
Right.
So make sure, even when you're comparing furnace and ACs, you're comparing apples to apples. Now, one thing I'll touch on, what about different manufacturers? So if one is, a Lennox and one is a Trane, for example, does that mean that the furnaces might still be different in other ways?
Yeah, the furnaces could always be different in other ways. Like I said, each company has their own ways of doing things, so they could be different.
Okay, some different bells and whistles and things like that. Yeah. I will say that your major manufacturers, they're all great quality, equipment. And so a lot of it's going to come down to the quality of install when you're installing those pieces of equipment.
Right.
Okay, so let's go on here, Dylan. What's something else that a customer should look for?
A thermostat.
Okay, so we're going to abbreviate and put T-stat. Okay, so tell me the differences between some thermostats.
You can get a basic thermostat. You can get a Wi-Fi thermostat. You can get Wi-Fi with Alexa built in. You could get programmable, non-programmable. So you definitely want to look into that.
For sure. So that sounded really country, didn't it? For sure. When we are looking at thermostats, all of them are going to be digital now, for the most part. A lot of them are touchscreen, but some of them still have buttons on the side to use. Yep. But the big thing to look at is programmable, non-programmable, Wi-Fi, non-Wi-Fi. So why do people like Wi-Fi thermostats?
Wi-Fi thermostats, because they can control them off their phone most of the time.
Yeah.
So they don't even have to get up to change the thermostat for their comfort. They can do it right there on their phone.
Absolutely. Or, hey Alexa, that can happen through your thermostat as well. So make sure to look at that because there's a pretty significant price difference between a basic thermostat and a Wi-Fi thermostat or communicating thermostat.
Yep.
Something that communicates in a specific way between the furnace and the air conditioner. You could easily be looking at a few $100 difference just in the thermostat.
Right.
All right, what's something else?
Filter rack.
Okay, filter. Tell me about the differences there.
Oh, well, you can have your traditional 1-inch filter that you change every month, or you can go to a media filter where you can change it once or twice a year.
Okay, big difference. So it's convenience, right? It's convenience. What do you want to do? Those bigger filters are going to filter a little bit better than your 1 inches a lot too.
Yep.
In your 1 inches, you have fiberglass, you have pleated, so there's a lot of different filter options. Now, you mentioned a filter rack. What does that mean versus how the filter is normally just built into a furnace?
Yeah. So the 1-inch filters, they can be kind of a pain sometimes to get in and out, and then you're gonna get frustrated and just say screw it. The media filters usually have a magnetic door that just pops on, you slide the filter in and it pops right back off.
So much easier, right? Now, taking a look at that also could add a couple $100 to a quote. So you just have to look at something, is that something that you're interested in having? Do you need that convenience or not? Okay, what's something else?
Humidifiers.
Ooh, humidifiers, yeah. me about that.
Humidifiers could definitely be an add-on to your quote. It's a comfort level for winter to add humidity in the air. So and they can range from a couple $100 and up.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times if you have a humidifier that's done at the same time as your furnace and air conditioner install, you're going to get a price break on that. There's going to be a discount that could be pretty significant from having just a humidifier installed by itself. So it's a great time to add that on and totally affects comfort in the home. Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about line set and line height, Dylan.
Line sets, basically you can replace the line set with a new one. Because most people, when you're replacing your system, they're going from the old refrigerant to the new style refrigerant. So we want to either replace it or clean it out. And that could be a big cost difference. Line height, if we can't get the line set down the wall or through the crawl space, usually we have to run down the outside of the house and actually add a cover over it. And that's line height.
Okay. So it just makes it look better.
Yep.
Okay. So definitely something to check out on those quotes. Now, let's talk about warranty. This is a big one. I was actually talking to a customer the other day, and he had a new system installed at his house over the summer, and I asked him what his labor warranty was, and he didn't know. Why is this so important?
Warranties are very important, and it's built into the cost of your quote to be able to have that warranty on parts and labor and all that good stuff.
All right, so it's important to remember that part warranty, that's a manufacturer warranty. So most of the time, the equipment's registered, you're gonna have a 10-year part warranty if you own your home. Labor warranty is different, and this is what can really vary in different quotes. So you may see a 1-year labor warranty, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, 12-year. You could see all these different levels. So that covers the labor when a company comes out to do a repair. So say 5 years down the road, you have a motor that goes out. It can happen, right? It's equipment, it's a moving part, it can happen. The part is going to be covered by the manufacturer, but you still have to pay the company to come out, diagnose it, do the repair, do the warranty, do all those things for you. So that labor warranty can save you a lot of money over the course of 10 years or so, right? So this is a really big one. Okay, last thing I'm going to say, I'm kind of running out of room here. Financing. Okay, so Dylan, tell me a little bit about financing.
Financing gives you that opportunity to make payments on your expensive furnace, AC, and all your additions. That way you don't have to pay for it all up front. It makes it convenient for people to pay for it.
Absolutely. So, kind of a myth, I guess. If we're talking about how much does a new system cost, we'll get a call sometimes it's like, just give me a ballpark. That's really, really hard to do. Like if I'm going to give you a ballpark and I don't know anything, I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere between $6,000 and $15,000. Well, it's not a fair ballpark, although it's accurate. So some people will have in mind that they'll be looking for a $4,000 to $5,000 quote for a brand new system. That was like 10 years ago. And so pricing, I would say average pricing right now, what to expect, you're going to be somewhere, for the most part, more between $6,000 and probably $8,500 for a new system install. When you have like really high efficient equipment, you've got that great thermostat, you've got a really nice filtration system, maybe you have some zoning added in there, you could be looking at $10,000 or higher easily.
Right.
And so there's a lot to consider, and so financing options can really help out with that because a lot of people don't have $10,000 just laying around to put towards a new furnace and air conditioner. So if you take that down to a couple $100s a month, it's much more doable. Now, I will say, because we're looking at investments that are here and higher, that's why this is so important, all right? You don't want to be paying for however many years on your new system, and then you're paying for repairs, down the road a little bit. That's why this is just as important as all of this.
Yep.
So, okay, there's a lot to look at here. So just make sure that you're really comparing your quotes, and when you're spending this kind of money, know what you're getting. That's our biggest advice. Know what you're getting. Know the company that you're working for, or that's working for you. Know that they're available if you need something. Are they available 24 hours a day? How do they get a hold of them? Who's going to answer the phone at midnight? Find those things out so that you feel comfortable with this money that you're spending. So, all right, well that wraps us up for this week. I hope that gives you some great information when you are comparing quotes. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you next week on HVAC Talk, Let's Be Real.